Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mila. I'm a psychoanalytic psychotherapist, and today I want to talk about why you should not be helping someone, right? Why you shouldn't be helping people. I know what you're going to talk about. Like, are you going to say, oh, we have to help people, we have to be helpful, we have to, helping others is a good thing, helping others is beautiful, it's a kind gesture. Of course, yes, it definitely is. I'm definitely not arguing that, right? However, there are plenty of people stuck in victim mentality, infantile, like emotional, immature people who will use you and who will abuse you just to get your help. They will put responsibility on you that they don't want to handle themselves, and they'll put it on you so you can do it. And a lot of the times you'll end up feeling so just exhausted. You just end up there, especially if you're a people pleaser, right? You sit there and you're like, oh my God, like I feel exhausted. It's like someone just sucked my blood out of me, right? That's when someone uses you as a, I think it's called trauma dumping. I'd also add anxiety dumping. I definitely know people who love to just throw the anxiety onto you, and then they kind of like feel better in the moment, but then it just repeats again and again and again and again. And it's just like never ends. And you know what's interesting with these kind of people who would come to you and they would need to offload a lot onto you. They don't pay for psychotherapy, for therapy. They will never even think about paying for therapy, because why would they? They have a friend who they can talk to, who they can just offload everything onto. And you are allowing this to happen. You are encouraging this behavior. You see, in order to help these people, right? In order to truly help, right? And I'm talking about like Messiah complex here, because if you are the one who's helping, right? You're the one who's constantly helping others. Well, you have to work on your Messiah complex. You have to work on this savior mentality, right? Wherever you got it from, you could have got it. You most likely got it from your parents, and where you always had to be you could, they might have made you responsible, or they just raised, they raised you in codependency, or it could be many things, right? Where you as a child just decided that, in order, if I will be helping other people, they will love me. If I will please other people, they will love me, because helping is people pleasing, right? A lot of the times, do people really help when they want to help? Of course, yes, they do. But I'm not talking about this type of help here. I'm talking about helping out of like lack, right? When you don't want to help, right? When you just don't want to help. You're emotionally drained, you're physically drained, you could be financially drained, right? That happens too. Yes, I know these situations where you're just getting drained. Like your partner could be using you for money again and again and again. I know women who've been used for money by men who just kept taking from them, I know also, I know that I've had friends who would, use me for that, emotional, constantly dumping things on me, until I realized, well, I'm just only enabling that, and I take that responsibility for healing. And what's interesting, what's funny, when you actually help a person, when you completely distance yourself, because that person is usually, it's infantile, extremely highly infantile person who cannot take responsibility. That person is just going to completely collapse. And sometimes a lot of people need that collapse in order to realize things, in order to, how like this phoenix, like there's this bird or something from Harry Potter or something, where it like it dies and then it comes back from the ashes. Like they need to do that. A lot of the times a person grows in not in conflict, sorry, in complete, like when everything is just destroyed and gone, the person can grow from that. In very difficult times, okay? In very difficult times, we grow. We actually grow. And so a lot of the times if you're the one who's like helping, you're allowing, right? You're taking that responsibility, and that person is never going to grow. That person is never going to get better. You're just taking that on you. You think you're a savior and you can help, but what's interesting with the savior mentality is that a lot of the times you'll get pissed off and annoyed that you're helping so much, but you get nothing out of it. And guess what? Boom, Cartman's triangle, right? You become a persecutor. You become angry, resentful. You're starting to hate that person, because how much can I be helping you, and what's going on? Like, you're not getting any better, or you could be helping in order to gain, right? You could be in that triangle. You could be helping someone in order to get something out of them, or they could be helping you in order to get something out of you. Recently, a friend of mine asked me, well, she's like an acquaintance, she asked me to do something for her. And I was like, what? Like, I was so confused. I was like, there's absolutely no way you're asking me this, because you can do it yourself. So you're a lazy bum telling me that you want me to help you out just because you don't want to drive for like 8 hours. Nah, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? No, be a grown-up adult. And a lot of the times people end up in situations for a reason, right? Like a friend of mine that I'm thinking, acquaintance, she ended up in that situation for a reason. And there's a great reason. And a lot of the times these reasons where, people end up in these situations where they need help is because they take zero accountability, responsibility, zero accountability taken. That's why these people end up in situations like that, because they have this childlike mentality. They fall into a child. They don't think like a grown-up adult, where like, hello, you have to be rational about things. You have to be logical about things sometimes. You can't always be rational and emotional, right? You have to take responsibility. Responsibility comes with, it could be difficult for a child to take responsibility. If the child is stuck in if a grown-up adult is stuck in a child's role, as I see so many adults, age of 35, 40, acting like children. You give them a little bit of, a touch of something that doesn't go their way, like unpleasant event, and they collapse. I've seen 40, 50, 60-year-olds collapse because they just can't handle it. They can't handle it because they look at a situation from like a child's view. And so I stand there and I'm like, wow, it's, I guess what I'm trying to say is, the point that I'm trying to get across is, if you're constantly trying to save someone, if you're constantly trying to help someone, you have to save yourself. You have to help yourself first. Because by helping and saving someone, trust me, you're not helping yourself at all. You're not doing yourself any favor. No favor. And if someone else is constantly helping you and you need help all the time, then you have to think. You have to think why this is happening. You have to think why you ended up in all these tiny situations. What led you to end up in these situations where you desperately need help from other people? And why would you so easily and eagerly accept help from other people if you can do it yourself, for instance? And if you think, oh, there's no other way I can do it, trust me, you can always find a way. But if you're a savior, messiah complex, God complex, I'm going to help and save, all the animals and all the homeless people and all the, think twice. I know these kind of people, they usually do it out of ego. It's like, wow, I'm such a great person. I'm saving these people. I'm helping all these people. Almost feeling like a godlike figure. I'm scared of this type of people, honestly. Like, I walk around. If I see them, I will walk far away because I'd be scared. I simply would be scared. There's a lot of ego there. A lot of I'm better than you type of message there. Getting rid of messiah complex it's a complex process. It takes years of therapy, but it's possible. You can live your life without needing to help someone. You can, trust me, you can live that life. And that life is out there. And when you start looking at yourself and who you need to help the most, which is yourself, right? And when you start doing that, the world around you will shift completely. Everything will just, the colors will start, you'll see colors in a new way. It's not going to be green, it's going to be bright green, It's almost like it's letting go of that victim mentality, because you no longer need to prove anything anyone. You no longer need to save the whole world. You no longer need to save that John that you've been having a situationship for, 3 years, trying to help him overcome his trauma. You no longer need John, okay? You no longer need him, because you understand that you need someone healthy. You need someone emotionally mature, intelligent, and it's not even about intelligence, it's about emotional maturity. And you no longer need that. You need someone healthy because you're becoming healthier. And that's when you see things changing, because the relationships will start shifting. Relationships will no longer be a burden. They will be happy. Friendships will no longer be listening to your friend for 5 hours on the phone trying to give therapeutic advice. It would be full of ideas. The friendships would become lively and joyful and fun and full of creative ideas. Parental relationships are a little bit harder on this one. I think it's a whole separate video that I need to record about having parents who are victims. That's a whole different story. But still, when you draw boundaries, trust me, even that can change. Even those relationships, even parental relationships can shift. And it's quite amazing when that happens. So anyway, I hope you understood something out of this video, and I feel free to check out my website. I'm going to leave it in the comments, like the description box. I have online courses. I have a course on victim mentality. I have a course, The Guide to Being Boldly Yourself, overcoming people pleasing, perfectionism, fears, shame, guilt, and I have a course on victim mentality. So all these courses, they're going to greatly, greatly help you and take you out of that, child role, or take you out of that victim mentality and bring you into, starting to live your life, starting to appreciate your life and live your life again. Or maybe just start to live your life. Maybe you've never lived it before. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.